Men of Reddit, what's the most romantic thing a woman in your life has ever done? A woman I was dating worked late on my birthday one year and called to chat on her drive home. She apologized for missing my birthday and promised to make it up the next night. We talked for way longer than her typical drive, but I thought maybe she had gotten home and simply hadn't told me. Instead, she drove across town and was circling my neighborhood, gotta love suburbs where everything looks the same, searching for my house. She eventually found it and surprised me with a pint of ice cream and a balloon. We got married 2 years ago. I knew a girl since I was 16, and she was into me but 3 years younger, so I maintained my distance. On my 23rd birthday she called me up while I was drinking alone in my shitty apartment because I'm a loser, and she said she baked me a cake and was at my door. It occurred to me that 3 years age difference wasn't such a big deal anymore, and I let her in. Predictably, she took advantage of me in my inebriated state, and I eventually married her, and we had a bunch of kids. While I was working the whole day and eating shit like junk food, she cooked and placed it in front of my door. While I was at work, she lived 1 hour away from me, so she just drove for that. Coming home, seeing all that delicious food in front of my door was heartwarming. I'm hopefully marrying her this year. Good luck, friend. I lost my favorite pair of sunglasses at a building on campus. By the time I realized I was in my dorm and was swamped with the paper, I was upset and expressed this to her. She left and came back soaking wet. She went back to campus and walked along every path I had taken and checked the building for me to try and find them as a pick-me-up. Unfortunately, she couldn't find them, but it was so sweet. I assume she was wet because it was raining? If so, that makes it extra sweet. Every day, my wife helps me get up and dressed. I've been in a chair since May. Is it permanent? I would guess so after such a long time, but I don't know. Can't answer the question cause I'm not up, but I'm disabled and just wanna say that the question was phrased a little roughly, but definitely asked politely. People can be very tough on people who don't know about the disability world. I'm sorry that someone has responded harshly, and I hope that doesn't stop you from learning more about our community. Better way of phrasing it would be, if you're comfortable answering, I was wondering if the doctors expect you to recover? This can be a frustrating question since it's asked a lot and can feel quite personal mattering the situation, so you may not get an answer. But being curious means you are open to learning new situations. That means a lot to me as a disabled person. I am a new situation for most people. Edit. Spelling. I am disabled and have a contrary opinion. I love being treated like I'm normal by someone, including asking questions that most people would be too afraid to ask because it quickly normalizes me rather than leaving it to imagination. My wife and I were having Thanksgiving with my grandparents and extended family, most of who she had not met. We had just moved 2,000 miles for a job and happened to be about 3 hours from my grandparents. Something to know about my family is we are ruthless and are overly generous with sarcasm and insults. Almost 20 of my family members were just unleashing this superpower on me. Mostly things along the line of my wife was way out of my league and too beautiful for me. My wife had been quiet this whole time. Finally, one of my uncles asked here why someone so beautiful would settle for someone like his nephew. This was at the table with my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Very formal in the near south. She looks him dead in the eye and says loud enough for even my most deaf relative to hear, "I married him for his penis." She then went back to her dinner and they chose a different victim. TLDR, most romantic thing my wife ever did for me was tell my family at Thanksgiving dinner she was with me due to my dong. Did you fall in love all over again? It did make me have flutters. She was good for standing up for me and wouldn't let me sell myself short. Until she decided to leave me and have a different life. But we were married about 13 years. She bought us tickets to Cedar Point even though she was afraid of roller coasters. Takes you to the best place on earth and holds your stuff while you use the single rider line? That's wife material right there. Edit. An apostrophe. Stays at the hotel and empties the minibar. I dated a girl who decorated a matchbox with the message, "We're a great match," and filled it with edible matches, little pretzel sticks dipped in colored chocolate at the end to look like a match. She clearly put a lot of thought and effort into it, which was really what meant the most to me. Unfortunately, no, we're not together anymore. Edit. We broke up for a few reasons. We were in an LDR several hours apart, some long-term compatibility issues, etc. It kinda messed me up for a while because she was a really sweet girl and I liked her, but, you know, life goes on, and so must we. We still chat every now and again. We're on good terms. That's so adorable. Really thoughtful, wow. I love doing things like this for people. I stopped because I saw so many dudes on Twitter bashing it though. They'd say things like when your girl says she's going to get you a gift, and it ends up being one of those stupid jars labeled "Why I Love You" with the papers inside. And it got thousands of retweets. It discouraged me from ever doing something like that again, lol. I didn't have a mattress throughout high school, and my then girlfriend came over for the first time, and she looked very disgruntled, so she talked to her parents and arranged a surprise visit for me to go to IKEA and get a bed and a desk. I've never loved someone so much. Girlfriend to parents. Hey mom, this boy I like took me back to his bedroom. I just could not do it. I could not find a comfortable position to sleep. I need your help. I mean he needs your help. To sleep? I was really close friends with her family beforehand, and they didn't know the position I was in. Good joke though. I bet they didn't. You're rapscallion. My last girlfriend arranged a surprise birthday party for me at a trampoline park. I was turning 30. As a kid I could play on a trampoline for hours. Last time I was on one I was 19, and I was winded in 5 minutes and needed a break. I'd get tired just trying to get upon that thing. After a particularly bad day, laid my head on her chest, pet me and told me everything would be okay. I honestly feel like that's what every man craves, but not many will actually admit. I'll admit it. Have been single for a whole ass year, and that's literally all I want right now. Edit. So this is what gold feels like? Cheers. Pulled me to a dance floor, dragging a chair behind her, standing up on the chair, and we danced him quite tall. My son had a girlfriend in high school who has cerebral palsy. She could walk for short distances, but it was hard. He took her to a school dance. He dragged the chair that she was sitting in onto the dance floor and danced with her. My kid is the best thing I ever did. A girl I knew I had a thing for her, so she pretended she couldn't find her phone, then asked if someone could call it. I said sure, what's your number? We got married a year later for 15 years. Damn, she got moves. And do you, Amagapan, take phone girl to be your lawfully wedded wife for the next 15 years? I do. Lol, I'd give anything for another 15 years. She made me a scrapbook of our entire relationship and saved everything from all our previous dates in order to put it into the book. She also got me a custom guitar pick with our anniversary. Man, I love that woman. I'm actually doing this for my boyfriend, but I don't have a lot of pictures of us when we went on dates. Product: draw simple pictures of what your movie ticket looked like, the color you remember them wearing, or small notes about what you remember them saying that made you smile. I've always had a passion for astronomy, and it had been a childhood dream of mine to see the CERN supercollider in Switzerland. My GF, not being much scientific herself, didn't understand the beauty of such technology. She's an English teacher, started to cut back on expenditure on things she liked for a couple of months. I occasionally offered some financial support, but she always kissed me saying there's nothing to worry about, and so like any partner, I worried my ass off. Some months passed. It was nearing my birthday. I hadn't seen my GF all day as she went to work, yet she arrived late. She came up to me with an envelope and simply sat beside me, anticipating my reaction. I slipped out 2 tickets to my childhood dream into my hands, as well as cried like a child in her warm embrace. I'm smiling so much typing this. But she, without even leaving any hints, sacrificed so many months of comfort just to fulfill a dream of mine. She, now my wife, currently live in Switzerland and live a couple hours drive away from the facility.
I'm currently trying to assemble an elegant trip abroad just for her to the Maldives after this whole lockdown eases. I've never loved someone so much. I have read so many replies, but this is the most amazing thing I have read on this thread. Heck, you better give that woman a kiss from me when you see her again and ask her if she will adopt me. Much love, London. I broke my leg 3 months into a relationship, unrelated to the relationship. My family had just left town that day. I had emergency surgery. She drove me to the surgery, picked up my meds during the surgery, picked me up when I woke up, drove me back to her place, and took care of me for a month there. This included sponge baths, waking up to give me painkillers in the middle of the night so I wouldn't wake up in agony, having food for me during the day when she went to work, and making sure I was happy overall. 4 years later and we are still together. If all that shit ain't romantic, I don't know what is. My wife did a few things for me that I definitely consider romantic. There was a time I was really hungover, so she, being a paramedic, started an IV on me and put 2 bags of fluids on me. Made me feel a lot better. She would also make me breakfast and bring it to me, just as I was getting up for work in the afternoon. I work nights. She would also shave my neck when I couldn't get to the barber. I never asked her to, she always offered. Fuck, I miss her. What happened to her if you don't mind me asking? I don't mind at all. An arterial blockage that more than likely caused a heart attack. That's what the mess report said. She was also pregnant and had just had her first trimester checkup, where we were told both her and baby were healthy and had nothing to worry about. Christ. Are you alright? Depends on how you define alright. I take things day by day, some days being better than others. I'm not gonna lie, the loneliness sucks.